To all of my friends at the BARR Conference, I'm delighted to be with you today, if only virtually. And I want to congratulate all of you who are working with and learning from BARR. The Building Assets, Reducing Risks program is really not only helping to improve student learning environments, but also helping us to undo the factory model design that we inherited almost 100 years ago. The work that BARR does to create teacher teams that share students in a cohort that gets to plan and think together, both about curriculum and student needs, the framework for focusing on strengths as a way also then to address challenges, the social and emotional learning components in the lessons that BARR does, the parent engagement, and then the ongoing professional development and coaching are all elements that the assembly line that we inherited 100 years ago did not anticipate, and that create a lot of the problems in traditional schools. You know, that model was created when Henry Ford had just invented the assembly line. It was thought to be the newest technology of the age, and the idea was put the kids on a little conveyor belt and send them to a different teacher each year, and then in middle and high school, a different teacher every 45 or 50 minutes to be stamped with a prescribed standardized lesson, you know, move kids along the conveyor belts. Of course, there were different conveyor belts in tracking systems that were part of what scientific managers would allow us to select and sort students, often by race and class, for their places in the industrial order. Teachers had no time working in their egg crate classrooms, had no time to plan or collaborate with one another. They were just supposed to stamp students with the lessons as they moved through the room. And this efficient model did not anticipate that there would be differences in the way that people learn, that there would be a variety of needs for teachers to be engaged in professional discourse and learning on a regular basis, or that we would really need to be thinking about social and emotional and cognitive skills development along with academics. Academics were also sort of thought of as, you know, memorize and regurgitate rather than really engage and problem solve and collaborate to develop knowledge. We've had huge bursts of knowledge from the science of learning and development, neuroscience, learning sciences, developmental science, that are all basically tapped for the BARR approach that really help us understand that the basis of that old system was flawed. We thought that genes predicted how you would turn out in life and what your academic and intellectual capacity would be, and you could identify people at the beginning of their school careers based on their quote ability, and stream them into these different streams. We now know that only about 10% of our genes are ever expressed, and the ones that are expressed are a function of the context. The relationships and the experiences that people have actually develop their brain. Our brain is always developing, and the extent to which we can create optimal environments for young people is the extent to which they grow intelligences, the extent to which they become more and more competent. We also know, of course, that learning is social, emotional, and academic, that the way we feel about an environment, the degree to which we feel trust, the degree to which we feel that we belong, the degree to which we feel that we can engage, the degree to which we feel we're not stigmatized, all of those things allow us to learn more effectively. And when we are anxious, when we are stigmatized, when we are experiencing stereotype threat, when we are in any way anxious and in an adrenaline enriched, fight or flight cortisol environment, we're actually shutting down our brain. And so the BARR approach, which allows us to create more fruitful learning environments together, collectively, so that also what students experience from classroom to classroom is more reinforcing, is more predictable, is more supportive. All of those things enhance learning. And we're seeing that, of course, in the results that the BARR program is getting first in Minneapolis or in Minnesota, and then all across the country. So we are thrilled to see this work continue us. It's helping us to create a brave new world that we need to create for our students, to move to a new approach to schooling that is really developing the new 3 R's, schools that are relationship-centered, schools that are responsive to students' strengths and interests and needs, and schools that are restorative. And you are reinventing school as you really implement this program and as you further develop it in your own context. You're really acting on what John Dewey said many years ago when he noted that the best and wisest parent, what the best and wisest parent wants for his or her child, that must the community want for all of its children. Any other goal is narrow and unlovely. Acted upon, it destroys our democracy. It is only by being true to the needs of each individual that the society can be true to itself. So I just want to thank you for the work that you're doing. I want you to understand that we're watching for both learning and adoption more broadly. And I hope you have a wonderful experience learning with each other and carrying that knowledge back to your students.